Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about this muzzle device for the AK-47. It's called the Fighter Break from Definitive Arms. Okay. The reason why I decided to get this is because I noticed that when women and some guys were shooting the AK-47 with the slant, which is standard on it, the muzzle was jumping to the left. Right, so they would shoot it and the gun would go boom, boom, boom. It would go left. Now the AK-47 normally jumps to the right. If you take off the muzzle, that slant, or rather before the Soviets came up with it, what they saw is that the AK-47 wanted to jump right. Okay, so they designed the slant to push the gases to the right and kind of offset that in order to keep the gun centered. Okay, now a lot of people have said that that they went too far with it. That the slant makes the gun jump more to the left. When I shoot it, I don't see that happening. Well, I can't perceive it happening, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this video, because I want to actually look at look at the video and see what's happening. Because what I perceive happening and what's actually happening might be two separate things. Okay. Now, when I had women shoot this AK-47 with this fighter break, it seemed now that the gun was jumping to the right. Okay, so it went back to what the gun was supposed to do, before the slant was put on it. So let's test this out and see what happens. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be holding the gun loose. I'm going to hold the gun, rather than hold the gun and lean into it like that and try to control it. I'm just going to hold the gun loose. I'm never going to put my head in the gun. I'm going to keep my head off the gun like this. Nice thing about having that circle dot, right? Because I got the Holosun 503 CU. It's got that 65 MOA circle with a dot in the center. If I can see that dot, which I can see from this position here, I can get my bullets to go where I want them to go. So I'm going to hold the gun loose. I'm going to put the camera over my right shoulder, and we're going to try and figure out if we can see what this gun is doing on its own, right? If I hold the gun loosely. So here we go. Okay, so it seemed to me that the gun was jumping to the right that time. Okay, now in previous times when I've been testing this out, I was holding the gun the way you're supposed to hold it. So when I hold the gun normal, I can't see it move. But that time I could actually see the gun wanting to jump to the right, which is what I've observed with women. So we're going to change out the muzzle device now. We're going to go back to the slant. Okay, and we're going to see how different that is. By the way, the nice thing about the AK-47 is that it's really easy to change out the muzzle device. There's a little indent here. You just push that down, and then it just unscrews right off. That's a lot easier than the AR-15 design, where basically you got to wrap the barrel, put in the vise, and then use a wrench to take it off. This is one area that the AK-47 is definitely superior in its design. This just unscrews right off. I'm gonna put the slant on now. I'll show you guys how that indent works. You see how that little thing is over there? It's just gonna go in. It's gonna push down. Basically, I'm just gonna hold this down. Keep screwing it in, and then you can see how that's gonna pop up and lock in place, and that's what locks it. And basically, with the AK-47, this is sits there kind of loose like that. That's the way it's supposed to be. Works just fine. So you can see how how it's slanted. A lot of people, when they see this, they think the gun's broken. They think there's something wrong with it. But yeah, that's designed so that the gas all gets pushed that way, because the gun wants to jump that way if you don't have the slant on, which it was kind of doing right now. So by the gas pushing that way, it offsets it. It's supposed to keep it centered. But what I've observed with most women is that when they shoot it, the gun jumps to the left. So let's test this out. I never quite tested it out the way I'm testing it today. Just holding the gun loose, and just not even putting my face on the gun. Let's test it out. So I got you over my shoulder there. I'm holding the gun loose, open hands, face off the gun. Okay, let's lean into it. See what happens. So I think that last one jumped a little bit to the right, but the others seemed like they were steady. So as far as control, it seemed that with the slant, the muzzle is better controlled. With the fighter brake, it definitely seemed like it was jumping a little bit more to the right. I had not noticed it when I was shooting it, holding the gun still like that. You know, so if I hold the gun the way I'm supposed to hold it, you know, I don't see any movement. But you know, testing it out today like this, holding it loose, just kind of resting it in my hand, I definitely saw it moving a little bit to the right. So that's interesting. So yeah, this fighter brake is definitely going to make the gun move a little bit to the right if you don't control it. Now, the cool thing about this is a nice flash hider. Okay, I think this is a lot more. I don't think this is really intended to be an actual muzzle brake. I do not like muzzle brakes. They direct the gun, the gas is back, and they make the gun very loud. And women hate really loud guns. Okay, it just scares them. So. You know, what I find is if I put a muzzle brake on the gun, it's louder than normal, and they just don't like it. They like it even less. So if I keep the gun a little bit quieter, they tend to like it more. So that's why I don't use muzzle brakes. So what I was trying to get out of this is I was hoping for more control without it being too loud. It's not loud. It's pretty light, so you're not adding a lot of weight to the front of the gun. I actually weighed it on that little scale. That's not a super accurate scale, but the slant came in at 1 ounce. This came in at 2 ounces. So, you know, without that scale being super accurate, you know, 1 ounce versus 2 ounces. So this is still pretty light, but it's twice the weight of that. Let's put this back on. So again, let me show you guys how easy this is. I see this can be very useful as a flash hider. We'll talk about that in a second when it gets back on. Okay, so when you shoot the AK-47 with the slant, which is what I got on it now, what happens is from no matter what direction you're looking in on, you see a straight flame going straight out. Okay, so no matter what direction you're in, you see a straight flame that leads back to your position. When you use a flash hider, right, like the bird cage on an AR-15. What happens is it kind of breaks that up into a starburst effect. Get this back on there. So rather than having that straight line going out, there you go. So the gases basically come up, and what you're seeing is, you know, now the person, let's say I'm shooting in this direction, and I got somebody standing or camera standing, you know, directly ahead of me. What's going to appear is that there's going to be a starburst where the flames are going to just shoot kind of straight up. Okay, obviously there'll be something going out front too, but it'll be kind of out like this as opposed to going straight out if you're using the slant. Well, the person standing directly ahead of you can kind of figure out where the center of that starburst is, but to somebody standing off to the sides, it's a little harder to figure out where the center is. So you know, they're not going to be 100% sure if you're standing here or 4 feet that way or 4 feet that way. Okay. Whereas if you're using the slant, right, which gives you that straight flame, kind of straight out, it's a little easier for the people to the sides to be able to kind of follow that back and get a better sense of where you're standing. So the flash hider doesn't actually hide the flash. It just kind of creates a starburst to kind of like, you know, hide it a little bit, kind of spreads it out, so it's a little harder for people on the sides, right, to pinpoint exactly where you're standing. Okay, and naturally if you put enough gunfire down range, they'll kind of figure out where you are too. But that's what the flash hider does. So that's one of the benefits I see to this fighter brake is of having, you know, has the benefit of being a flash hider. Just because you're going to have more of the flame shooting out the top, spreading it out, rather than having a straight flame coming out the front. So something interesting, it only cost $42 with shipping, right? So it's $42 with shipping. Goes on easy, comes off easy. So, you know, like I wouldn't, you saw how many times I took this on to put this off. I mean, there's no way I would do that with an AR-15. That's just way too much work. The company that I got this from is called Supplying Patriots. I never ordered from them before, never heard of them before. I found them in a Google search. But the reason why I'm mentioning them because they did something really cool. They put a personalized note here. So without even knowing me or knowing that I have a gun channel, they gave me a note. Thanks for your order, Daryl SP, Supplying Patriots. Well, thank you, Daryl. I appreciate the effort you took to, time you took to send me this note, and also I appreciate the stickers that he sent me, right? Because he sent me out 4 stickers that I think are really cool. Got this one, Appeal to Kalash. I got this one, Patriot, kind of like in Russian style. Liberty or death, absolutely. All right, so that's cool. And then I got this sticker from him, SP with a little AK-47. I think that's kind of cool. And then this one's really nice, SP with an AK-47. That's also cool. So you might be wondering, what's a grown man going to do with some stickers? Well, here's what I do. As I travel around different ranges, go over different people's property and training people, if they've got young girls in their family, right? Somewhere between the age of like 7 and 13, I give them the stickers, right? So I give them this, I'll give them a sticker. I have other companies, I got stickers. I'll give them stickers. Young girls love stickers, right? And what they'll do is they'll put this on their school books and stuff like that. And then, some liberal is gonna see this and get all pissed off. And maybe even make them take it off, right? If it's at school. But here's the thing: that's gonna, they're gonna start realizing who the real enemy is, So that's why I like stickers, right? Because I like to give them out to the kids. So it's a good way to spread the gun culture. So thank you very much, Daryl, for these stickers, and I will definitely get these stickers to the right place. Okay, so if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member of the channel, please subscribe. Talk to you guys soon.